What's up guys, here's Paula, and in this video I want to talk about how I got rid of recurring herpes virus infections. Now there are different types of herpes viruses. There's type 1, type 2, which causes genital blisters. Then there is type 3, also known as herpes zoster, and type 4 or Epstein-Barr virus. I used to have type 1, 3 and 4 in my life. I never had herpes 2, the one that causes genital herpes, at least as far as I know. If I did, and if I have infected some of you guys, sorry. I mean, if you're one of the 2.78 humans who could have possibly been infected by me, I apologize. Here I want to talk about type 1, which causes painful cold sores on the lips. And I also want to talk about the, for me, surprising and unexpected way how I got rid of it. So type 1 is probably the least problematic, but some doctors are of the opinion that it shows a potentially deeper and systemic problem with the immune system. And since all those types of herpes viruses belong to the same family of pathogens, my story may be helpful to those who are dealing with the more serious types like herpes 2 or 3. So the cold sores I would get were pretty annoying. I used to get them repeatedly every year for over 20 years, and it was between 3 to 4 ugly, disfiguring, painful outbreaks per year, which would take 2 to 3 weeks to heal each time. I would really get them every single year for over 20 or 30 years without fail. Now, in 2019, it's been 2 years that I haven't had a single outbreak. So how did I do it? What's my secret? How did I stop getting herpes outbreaks? Well, I think it was 3 things. Ozone, Paleo diet, and I think the most important part, mercury chelation with the Andrew Cutler method. As to ozone and paleo diet, I started doing both at the same time, more or less, which is now 10 years ago. I think both of them were equally important in overcoming this chronic infection. The paleo diet consisted of me basically eating just meat and vegetables. So I would eat freshly prepared meat and some salads twice a day. So I stopped eating any types of grains or grain products like breads, pastas and baked goods, and really any type of carb-rich foods. I also stopped eating beans and lentils, rice, dairy products, and I think the most important, I stopped eating sugar, any type of sugar. So it was really just meat and vegetables and maybe some fruit and nuts from time to time. And I think that especially the fact that I stopped eating sugar and other high-carb foods helped to improve my immune system greatly. And at the same time, as I said, I had just bought my own ozone equipment and started doing various forms of ozone treatments at home. Ozone sauna, vaginal, rectal, ear insufflations. I would also do ozone IVs, and I would drink ozonated water. I went all out on ozone. I would spend 2 to 4 hours every day doing ozone. I know, it sounds crazy, and it probably was. Well, I'm a crazy ozone lady, so I had to live up to my reputation. And it's something that I don't necessarily recommend to other people. But why was I doing this? Because back then I thought that I had Lyme disease, which turned out to be not true as a test that I did in 2016 revealed. But the ozone treatments often had an immediate and very positive effect on me. They would provide me with energy, boost my mood, improve my psoriasis patches until they completely disappeared, and in general allowed me to function every day. But after having done ozone for several months at that intensive level, I would still get the sores on my lips. The outbreaks were getting less frequent and less painful, and they would heal up faster. That was undeniable. But I would still get them, which really surprised me at the time because I thought that ozone kills any and all pathogens. So I was really disappointed that ozone didn't seem to have done the trick. Then in September of 2013, I started the Andrew Cutler protocol in order to get rid of what I assumed was a chronic mercury poisoning. And that's what really did the trick as it looks now. The mercury chelation program is what seems to have completely eradicated the virus. I completely stopped having any outbreaks. Not immediately though. I think it took a good 2 years for the program to kick in. So how is this possible? How is it explained? How could the elimination of chronic mercury poisoning at the same time eradicate the herpes virus? Well, the theory goes that there is some symbiosis going on between mercury and herpes. Mercury apparently suppresses a specific part of the human immune system, which is important to fight viral invaders and the herpes virus in particular. So what seems to happen during proper mercury chelation is that a certain blockage of the immune system is removed and the intrinsic fighting mechanisms of our bodies are unleashed. Or at least that's the theory. I could not find a lot of solid research on this except for a rat study. There, rats who were infected with the genital herpes II virus were at the same time poisoned with mercury, and it was shown that after the mercury injection there was a higher rate of virus replication. So basically, mercury led to growth of the herpes virus colony. But that's really the only thing that I could find on the subject. There may be more. If you find anything, let me know. But the herpes-mercury connection seems to be a theory which is mostly heard among natural health practitioners. It doesn't seem to be an established idea in conventional medicine. All I can really say is that the only time in my life when I stopped having the outbreaks was around 2 years ago, when I had already chelated according to the Andrew Cutler program. So now it's March 2019, another winter is wrapping up, and I didn't have a single herpes outbreak, neither this winter nor in 2018 or in 2017, which I find pretty darn cool. All in all, I had chelated for around 4.5 years. At that point, I had reached alpha-lipoic acid dosages of 400 milligrams. Alpha-lipoic acid is, according to Dr. Cutler, the most important mercury chelator. But please, don't just go and start popping huge dosages of this stuff. There is reason to believe that you could actually hurt yourself that way. When taking alpha-lipoic acid in order to get rid of mercury, it's very important to take it in a very specific manner. How exactly? I explain it on my website. The link is below. There are for sure more serious and more annoying herpes infections than what I had, but since they're all in the same family, what I went through may have some value for other types of infections. It's a matter of trying it out. If you like this video and if you would like to support me, please do so. Simply go to thepowerofozone.com/donate. Or if you'd like to ask me some one-on-one questions, you can also book some screen time with me. Thank you very much for watching. Keep it pink, be human, and eat a steak. And please do not take anything I'm saying here in this video as medical advice. Please, seriously, don't.